some part of you never fully relaxes around money. A quiet hum of alertness stays underneath your days. You check the balance, then check again. Nothing changed, yet the checking felt like safety somehow. It is a low worry that never quite turns off. A background tension that follows you everywhere. This is what growing up with less leaves behind, not just memories, but a system trained on watch. By the end of this, you will understand that hum. You will see why it formed and how it softens. Picture the kid version of you hearing the word no, not out of meanness, but out of necessity. No to the field trip, no to new shoes, no to small things other kids never even noticed. You learned early that money was a tight room. Wanting something could quietly become a problem for someone. So you stopped asking out loud. You asked inside your head before anyone heard that you wanted. That little internal scan never stopped. It still runs now whenever a price tag enters your view. You may not remember the exact moments, but your body remembers waiting for a yes day or no day. Maybe you watched a parent open a bill and go still. That stillness lived in their shoulders, then yours. Maybe you heard hushed conversations behind the closed door, numbers spoken in tones that did not match calm faces. Children do not understand interest rates or rent. They understand the air in a room, the dinner silence. You learned to read that air faster than most read books. You became fluent in invisible signs of strain. That fluency never left you. You still read tones and screens for clues that things are still okay. This is the part most people miss about money anxiety. It is a body listening for danger, not numbers. The anxiety lives below thought. It speaks in heartbeat and breath long before any logical reasoning can catch up. Your nerves were taught young that money equals safety. Every dip in the balance now feels like danger. That is why a normal expense can land like an alarm. The amount is fine, but your system remembers. You might call yourself dramatic for flinching. You are not dramatic. Your early years installed a sensitive inner alarm. Alarms are not flaws, they are protection. Yours was built when attention to money kept your family afloat. The problem is, the alarm does not know that season ended. It is still scanning, still bracing inside. Think about how you feel before opening a banking app. A small breath, a bracing, a quiet preparing. Even when the number is fine, the body has tensed. You exhale, but the system does not stand down. That is a nervous system doing its old job. It checks the perimeter as it learned long ago. Now think about how an unexpected charge feels. The reaction is not just thought, it is heed and alarm. For someone who grew up with plenty, it is a task. For someone with less, it feels like threat. Same number, different nerve system. The math is identical, but the meaning your body assigns is different. This is why advice alone never reaches you. People say just budget, as if it lived only in mind. It does not. It lives in the chest, the jaw, the shoulders. It lives in a body that learned vigilance. You can have savings and still feel poor. You can be fine and feel one bad week from collapse. That gap between your reality and feeling is not proof you are broken. Your past is still quietly speaking. Consider how often you do mental math at night, lying in the dark, running numbers, hoping for safety. The math is not really for the money. It is for the nervous system, hoping calculation will bring rest. But it never rests, because the calculations were never the real issue. The real issue is an older fear. That fear is not loud or rational. It is a quiet conviction that something will be taken away. You may notice a strange guilt around spending. Even on something needed or earned, a voice questions you. That voice often sounds older than you. It carries the tone of someone who had to be very careful. You inherited that voice without choosing to. It moved in when caution felt like the only way to stay. As an adult, the voice still treats every dollar like the last. It does not know your current life. This is the quiet cost of growing up with less. Not just what you went without, but what you became. Let me ask you something gently. When did money first feel scary as a feeling inside your body? Take a slow moment with that. No rush, just a quiet look at where it might have started. If something rose up, share it in the comments. A sentence is enough and may help a stranger. Sometimes naming the moment loosens its grip. The moment does not change, but you stop carrying it silently. Now we keep going with softer awareness. Understanding the root is how the body relearns trust again. There is also the comparison layer that came later. Other kids had things you did not, and you noticed. You learned to scan not only your home, but others. The cars, the snacks, the calm at dinner. That scanning continues now through screens. You scroll, and your nervous system measures as it did on your childhood block. Their vacation, their kitchen, their easy laugh about a purchase. Your body asks why their safety lives so different. You catch yourself doing the math on a friend's post, wondering quietly what their life must actually cost. It is not envy, not exactly. It is an old ache that counted what you did not have. That ache does not vanish with income. You can earn more and still flinch watching others live freely. The flinch was never about them. It was about a younger you watching from outside an easier world. Adulthood does not automatically dissolve that. The account grows, but the inner watcher keeps comparing, measuring, bracing always. This is why milestones feel hollow. The raise and the safe number arrive, but the alarm barely lowers. You expected relief. You got a brief quiet, then the alarm choosing a new threshold to fear. That is not greed. That is a system that does not yet believe enough exists. The ground once shifted underneath. So it never fully stands on the ground. It hovers, always ready to lift off if the floor disappears. You can feel this in your shoulders sometimes, a small lift as if your body is halfway through bracing. That posture is not laziness or weakness. It is the shadow of years when relaxing simply felt unsafe. Because here's the tenderer part. Your alertness was often how you helped. You watched. You adjusted. You asked less. That was a form of care. A young way of protecting people you loved from worrying about you too. You may still do this. You may still shrink your needs, apologize for wanting, feel that wanting is somehow dangerous. That is the child in you still trying to lighten the load. They were never told wanting was allowed. They learned being good meant being low maintenance. That being loved meant never adding to anyone's burden. Hearing that now might feel strange. A small tightness in the throat, a small ache behind the eyes. That is recognition, not weakness. You are meeting a part of yourself that has been working very hard alone. That part deserves a quiet thank you. Not a fix, just an inner nod saying, I see what you carried. Once that part feels seen, it stops shouting through your body. It can soften slowly in its time. This is where calm starts. Not in a new app, but in a gentler relationship with your inner alarm. You do not have to silence the alarm. You only have to understand it and let the old emergency end. A small practice can help. When worry rises, place a hand on your body, breathing into that spot. Name the feeling out loud if you can. Say, this is old fear, not today's actual emergency. You are not solving the money in that moment. You are telling your nervous system you are here now. Safe. Over time, the alarm learns, not in a day, but in small repeated moments of safety offered from inside. You become the calm parent your body never had, the one who says, you are okay now. Notice when your old self would have found unbelievable. A full fridge, a paid bill, a quiet evening. Let those land for a second longer than usual. Your nervous system needs evidence, and evidence lives in ordinary moments. This is not about pretending the worry is gone. It is about giving your body new data so stories soften. The goal is not to never think about money. It is to think about it without bracing for impact. That is a real, reachable kind of calm. Not the calm of endless resources, but of no longer being ruled. You can be careful with money and still feel safe inside. Those two were never meant to be enemies. If today you take one thing, let it be this. Your money anxiety is not failure, but proof of noticing. You learned to be alert because alertness mattered. That same alertness can now turn gently toward your well-being. The same eyes that watched bills can watch your breath now. The same care given the household belongs to you. Nothing about you is broken here. Only a younger you who learned early and an older you ready to help. Those two parts of you can finally meet. The watcher rests while the adult quietly takes the room. You are not behind because your body still hums. You are someone whose past asked too much, too soon. The hum can quiet, slowly, kindly, in its own time as you remind it the storm has passed. You can talk to that hum like an old friend, thank it for watching, then gently invite it to rest. It may not believe you at first. That is okay. Trust returns in layers, the way light returns at dawn. Each time you breathe through a money moment without spiraling, something shifts. Your system files quiet new evidence. Each time you spend on something needed without guilt, an old story softens. Its weight lifts a little inside. Each time you let a kind moment land, your system updates. Not everything is preparation for the next loss. The nervous system updates through repetition, not lecture. It needs lived, repeated experiences of ordinary safety. This is the slow, real work. Not loud, just a steady softening of an alarm that served its time. If this gave you a softer view of yourself, take a quiet breath before moving on. That breath matters too. You are welcome to leave a comment about what landed most. Your words often become comfort to someone scrolling. If this channel has felt like a safe place, consider subscribing. Turn on the bell for the next reflection. We will keep slowly untangling the quiet anxieties around money, gently, without shame, at your nervous system's pace. For now, let your shoulders drop, let your jaw soften, let the room around you be enough tonight. You are not behind. You are not failing. Your body learned to care early and is now learning to rest. The alarm that kept you safe can finally rest beside you. It no longer needs to guard your chest. When the worry tries to rise, place a hand on your heart. Tell it quietly, we are safe enough now. You do not need to fight the worry to be free. You only need to meet it with kinder company. You are allowed to soften here. You are allowed to be both careful and calm at the same time. Money will keep moving in and out of your life, but the part that watches can finally exhale. That exhale is yours to keep. A steady reminder that the child who watched everything is finally allowed home.